Welcome to the Adobe Connect Training and Troubleshooting course. We hope to provide some information on how to use Adobe Connect, as well as some common troubleshooting tips. Like most live meeting and conferencing software packages, Adobe Connect allows users to use their speakers, webcam, and microphone. Correct software and hardware configurations are necessary for an effective Adobe Connect meeting. There are many places for trouble to occur during an Adobe Connect meeting because Adobe Connect requires changes to your system's hardware, such as enabling your speakers, a microphone headset, or a webcam. Changes to your operating system configurations, which will differ depending on which of the major operating systems you have. And changes to your browser settings, which also will vary slightly from browser to browser, and though it's the same basic settings, you have to look in different places to adjust them. In addition, Adobe Connect requires you to have Adobe Flash Player and the Adobe Connect add-in. As you imagine, many different types of complications can arise when in an Adobe Connect meeting. Troubleshooting these problems can be frustrating for new and even familiar users. Troubleshooting usually requires a systematic approach where you diagnose the issue and check all systems relevant to the particular issue. Some problems are just beyond the scope of what we can address in the course, since they require special access to security settings or firewalls, and we will not address these here. Now let's just take a quick look at some of the features that Adobe Connect allows. This little blurb here is how the manufacturer of Adobe Connect describes it. As you can see, it's a web conferencing platform. The fancy buzzwords in here basically mean that it is in real time, and you can have meetings between large groups of people. You can share documents, you can share desktops, you can record the meeting sessions that you have, and the Adobe Connect meeting rooms are accessible on most mobile devices. So how are Adobe Connect rooms used? Adobe Connect rooms are basically virtual live classrooms. They allow for interactions between students and teachers, and a lot of professors here at RBHS are pretty excited about them, use them for lectures and classroom discussions and even office hours. Similarly, students find many creative uses for them here at RBHS, and they provide that sort of live element that's lacking in online education. Now, just before we move anywhere, I want to provide a little information on the Moodle Learning Management System used at RBHS. You'll only really need to know this if you're a host. Moodle stands for the Modular Object-Oriented Dynamic Learning Environment. It is the courseware for Rutgers Biomedical and Health Sciences. Moodle is always in a 3-column format. The center column is where the host will create an Adobe Connect room, as well as post recordings. RBHS has a license agreement with Adobe Connect, and the meeting rooms are created directly in Moodle instead of at Adobe Connect Central, where an individual license holder would create rooms if they have a subscription. You do need a license to use Adobe Connect.